CBS Atlanta News has discovered a toxic substance dumped illegally in southwest Atlanta.
Now, the EPA has been called in, but our investigation discovered it took 5 days to clean up this mess. The asbestos was discovered in a dumpster behind a strip mall off Cascade Road. That's where CBS Atlanta's Wendy Saltzman joins us live with a look. Wendy.
Well, there were piles and piles of toxic asbestos that were falling out of this dumpster here behind me. And now here's the catch. It was illegally dumped here 5 days ago and just cleaned up today. Now, at least one area resident was sent to the hospital after being exposed to that asbestos. So we're asking the tough questions. What happened here?
What time is it now? And I gather they've been knowing about it for a minute, and it's still sitting here.
Just yesterday, store owner Kilby Graham contacted CBS Atlanta News, concerned about what was sitting in the dumpster behind her store.
I'm perplexed. I'm quite disturbed.
Tiles were pulled from the floor of a neighboring business on Saturday and dumped illegally in an open trash bin. On Tuesday, when we visited, the dumpster was still wide open with the asbestos inside. When we came out on Tuesday afternoon, this dumpster was still sitting there open with asbestos in it.
I can't comment on that.
EPA investigator Mark Bean was called in on Monday and confirms the tiles are contaminated. But for some reason, the EPA did little to make certain the poisonous contaminants were removed. Why didn't the EPA do more to make sure that this was cleaned up properly?
Again, I can't comment on what was done, or we're in the middle of the investigation.
It's a health hazard. Point blank, it's a health hazard.
Asbestos abatement expert Todd Taylor surveyed the situation for us and explained the dangers. Asbestos is a carcinogen that can cause, among other things, lung disease.
There could be some harmful effects. More than likely, you won't find that out till down the road.
At least one employee at a neighboring salon was sent to the hospital from chest pains. And Kilby Graham says she's also been sick because of toxins inside these buildings.
I became ill and basically was at that point of going to cardiac arrest.
Today, an environmental crew was on site cleaning out the dumpster, but instead of removing everything, they still left behind some potentially contaminated material. Will you guys be fining them for breaking the rules?
That's part of the investigation. I can't comment on that.
That EPA investigation may not be done for another 60 to 90 days. Each fine can range up to $37,000 per violation. Now, we're going to stay on top of this investigation, and if you know of any illegal dumping in your area, contact me. Live in Southwest Atlanta, I'm Wendy Saltzman, CBS Atlanta News.
More information now about asbestos health dangers. The problem is the fibers of asbestos are so small that when you breathe them in, it gets lodged in your lungs, and it's nearly impossible to get all of that out. It can lead to severe breathing problems and scarring in your lungs called asbestosis, and also to mesothelioma. It's a form of cancer. You can find more information about this story on our website, cbsatlanta.com.